Welcome back to Demon Slayer Anime Review, episode number 2. Yeah, I should have done this review like 2 days ago. Yeah, but the thing is, I just completely ran out of time. That's the of it. Mm-hmm. Yep. This one I'm not covering 5 episodes, but yes, 9. Episodes 8 to 14. Yeah, 8, basically 11 to 14 was not originally going to be covered in this particular review, but because of the fact I did not get a chance to do this review like a couple days ago, I am doing this review now. Mm-hmm. That's the whole gist of it. Hmm. Yeah, the arcs covering this one are First Mission, Asakusa, and Drumhouse. First is First Mission, which is adapted from chapters 10 to 13 and adapted into episodes 6 to 7. This is a two-parter where the main character Tojiro goes to a small town to investigate disappearing teenage girls, and there is suspicion that a demon is involved. That's the reason why he's going. And he gets this mission comes like almost immediately right after he gets his sword. Like I'd say the very same day he gets his sword, that's when he gets his mission. So he goes to his town and he starts looking around. And the one way to note the fact this is not feudal Japan is the fact there are freaking power lines. Yep, power lines, which did not exist in Japan probably until like probably early 20th century. Yeah, because that's a strange thing about this show. I mean, appearance-wise, but by the look of the clothing, it could be feudal Japan. No, it's actually early 20th century, basically the era. This is the Toshi era, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the era that became before the Showa era for Japan. So he goes around, just listens to some conversation about girls missing. Comes across a guy who looks very similar to the character he met during the final selection, but I highly doubt. I mean, from what he says, this is not the same guy. He just said he looks almost exactly the same. And he somehow knows the guy's name. Has to come help him. I was sniffing around, and this happens over the course of 2 episodes. And then something very unusual happens. I've never seen this before in anime. Now, there's been plenty of POV shots in the series, but not where they feature the character's weapon. Yes, where you see him holding his weapon, like similar where you see in a first-person shooter, where you see a character's gun. This is similar to that, and he just uses it to look for the demon, and he does. And the demon comes out, and it's this very odd looking demon. It looks like it comes out of a swamp. Where the swamp is never explained. It's just that he somehow is there swimming, and the fact that he was asked about where these girls that he kidnapped. He says, "Oh yeah, he ate them." Okay. Then he later discovers there's actually 4 demons. Okay. He mentions the demons don't usually work together, and he figures, oh yeah, this demon is split up in 4 parts. Yep. One basically is like a chatterer. One's very talkative. One basically is a collector of ribbons. One of whom happened to be belonging to this guy's girlfriend, which her parents are very upset by him losing her. But prior to him showing up, he did take another teenage girl when she was basically about to go to sleep. Yeah, the way that he pops up is quite bizarre. It's like magically a magic puddle just pops up in the middle of nowhere. Has how that he just basically pops up. Eventually, Tojiro basically gets the girl out and hands off to the guy. When by the way, this is not his girlfriend. It's another girl. He just probably just happens to know the village, and then Nachiko, his sister, gets out of the box that he got in the previous episode in episode 5, which meant to transport her. From what I can tell by where I got to in the manga, he still has his box. So yeah, she's gonna be traveling this box for quite some time. And she gets out of the box and she battles the demon. And he has to basically protect them while he goes after the demons in their own, let's just say their own world per se, on their turf. And she agrees, and she will note though that basically it was revealed at the end of the previous arc that she's put under post-hypnotic suggestion, or she's all humans as family and demons as her enemy. So she's able to dispatch those demons pretty quickly, and Dojiro, who's swimming in the water, managed to confront three of the four and slices them up really good. Yeah, thanks to one of his water technique. I think it was like technique 3, I think it was. Where he actually just eliminates all three of them. Comes across the, let's say, the pocket of one of them, which has all the ribbons of all the girls they kill. Eventually, the one that's there behind open up the thing to see where his other parts of his body are, and Tojiro gets out, basically sort of slices his face a bit, asking about Tojiro Mori. Technically this guy is the main villain in the series. He says, okay, I can't say anything about him because otherwise he'll kill me. And he's like, okay, he just kills him right there, and then pretty much he's on another mission. Yep, another mission. Yeah, second one. Like, has no time to rest. Basically, has time to go to another city, Asakusa. hmm Yeah, somewhat of a modern city. I will talk about this in a minute. And yeah, Nazuko basically is a still night. They say the Wakus is a nearby city, and he's shocked to see how far a city is developed. And we get a chance to see a tram. Well, basically a tram train. I've actually ridden one of these things in Tampa, so yeah. And those things are in fact that big in real life. They also see cars. Yes, cars in anime. Not many series I've watched feature actual cars. Um, I would say probably the first one I can think of that features an actual car being used by actual characters in the series, off the top of my head. I mean, they use them in Hunter x Hunter, definitely. Definitely, of course, in My Hero Academia, they use it frequently. And even the last few series I've watched, basically, characters use cars. Basically, any series in modern day tend to use cars. This is by far the earliest incarnation. Yeah, this is almost like you see, like, Model Ts. But this is Japan. I'm not sure exactly what car these are. Of course, he's just wandering through town, and he's trying to look for a place to stay. He comes across a udon cart, yeah, food cart, and tries the food, and then he sniffs something. He sniffs the man who possibly was responsible for killing his family back in the pilot episode. Comes across him, and he's got a family. Yep, though he dropped the food on the ground. Excuse me. Then he's about to confront and take out his sword, and then, like, then he just randomly decided to turn another guy who just a passerby into a demon. Yep, just by slicing his neck with 3 little slits. Just like that. Turning the demon. Basically attacks his wife, tries to restrain him. The cops basically do not understand what the heck is going on. They think he's attacking the other guy. This I think he's trying to restrain him. And he asks, please bring some restraining devices for him. And then we have, well, this is later explained at the start of the next episode. Yeah, Tomato, I think that's even her name. Yeah, this demon post as a doctor uses her blood basically to create an illusion so they can get away. The wife is treated, the husband's basically restrained in the basement. This was later. And he goes back to Udon Cart, eats 2, and of course the guy also suggests that Nazuko take out the bamboo of her mouth. Yeah, as far as I can tell, she still has it by the time where I'm at right now. And I highly doubt they can have the right to remove that damn thing anytime soon, unless of course they can cure or be a demon sometime in the future. And then pretty much, then they're given pretty much told to come to, and Yoshiko, I think that's the guy's name. He's the doctor's assistant, who's got a thing for her because she turned him into a demon. But they're good demons, and he only wanted the girl. Was like kind of like thinking that he's not like. Of course, he mistakenly thinks that his sister's an eyesore. Points out that his sister was a town beauty. Which, looking at her, yeah, I can see why she's a very beautiful woman. And she's like, fine. She's like, fine. So they're brought along, and of course, the Tatsumio basically explains pretty much about some of her backstory. In fact, she's been around for 200 years, being a demon, and Yasuko is the only demon, the only person she actually has turned herself. She has turned no other demon, and she's never ate any human flesh. She has, however, drank human blood, mainly because of the fact she's a doctor and she needs blood anyway. So she basically buys the blood, and then they drink it like they're, for the son of it, they drink it like it's Capri Sun. Yep. And of course, while this is going on, the main villain of the series contacts two of his very lowly couple grunts of his. One is a woman who used tambourine balls. The other is a guy who's got eyeballs in his hands with arrows. Yeah, I know this is kind of gross, but at least he uses them. Yep. So got to find Toshiro basically gets known by his earrings that he wears. And it's implied that he might have known Toshiro's father. Yes, very heavily implied this guy in the flashback might be his father. And I like the fact they actually focus on the main villain of the series briefly. Though after this arc, he doesn't pop up in the next arc at all. I remember he pops up after this because he does pop up. He is the main villain of the series, so he doesn't pop up that much. But they introduce him at the end of the second arc is quite interesting for the series to do. Mm-hmm. So they go find him, and of course they beat up a wall, which basically where Toshiro basically is actually hiding, and basically Toshiro basically battles both of them with Yasuko Selby and Nazuko, who's out of her box. Yeah, she spends the whole entirety of this three-parter out of her box because this whole three-part takes place at night. Yep, and then they battle them, and then at one point they decide, well, we have Toshiro battling the female demon. They don't list her name. They basically say she has a tambourine ball. I don't know what these things are. They look like regular balls I usually see. Kind of look like dodgeballs basically. But these particular balls moved around by the arrow man. I'm thinking arrows. Does this guy shoot arrows? Does he have a clipper? Is he archer? No, it's basically the arrows from his hand. And that's where he redirects them. And apparently these hands is how he can see, because apparently he's blind. Okay? Yosuko basically takes on him. And actually, it was Nazuko. Nazuko takes us briefly, and then Yanako basically decided. I think I see the guy's name. The doctor decided to, hey, why don't we swap opponents? Okay. So he's able to take out the other guy after a pretty grueling battle. At one point, almost nearly breaking the guy's arm. Though he also went up in the air, and when he came back down, he broke a leg and one of his ribs. As for the female demon, well, he's asked her about information about Kajimori, and whereas the doctor asks her, and under a cool guise of illusion, is manipulated to give his real name, and then she somehow grows other arms out of her mouth, and then somehow that kills her. Okay? And so she agrees to help him. Basically, the basically his mission to cure his sister of being a demon. In exchange, looking for blood, basically people who are part of the 12 Moons. Yeah, this is what they're first mentioned in here, but these two are not members of the 12 Moons. Basically, these are just lower grunts. He confronts one of them in the very next arc of the series, which he's ordered to go right after this one. So he goes to Swevik, he's not fully healed yet, and he goes out and he meets up with Zenzo, who is hitting on a woman and asking her frequently to marry him, and he basically says this like, this is a bad idea. Like he's basically acting improper of a man, trying to force a woman to marry him, because he doesn't want to die. So eventually Zenzo basically has got very good memory, a little bit better memory than Toshiro has. Apparently, they actually saw each other during the final selection. You see this guy briefly at the end of the first arc. Yeah, that was his first appearance in the series. See him very briefly. He didn't do very much. The guy was a coward. There's nothing. He's very well dressed for a demon slayer. He's got a white sheath for his sword, and you do get to see what his ability is. It involves thunder. Yep. This, of course, this one leads right into the next part arc, the Drumhouse arc, where he decides to tag along with this mission. It was one mission to go investigate this house in the area, and they come across a brother and sister who's hiding, who just happen to be very nearby, and they kind of explain who they are, and no, he doesn't explain what's inside the box. Nope. And of course, the older brother is missing. Yeah, two boys and one girl, kind of similar to me. I mean, I'm the oldest of three. So they go to this house, very nice looking house by the outside of it. Well, that is until a dead body is thrown out. Yep, a dead body. And of course, Toshio thinks it might be the older brother, and then the middle brother is like, "Yeah, that's not a brother. He wears a different kimono." I'm like, "Okay, interesting." So basically, they're asked to stay outside. So Toshiro and Zenzo basically have to go inside the house themselves, look around. They just, of course, just ignore them. The little girl goes with Toshiro, and the little boy, the middle child, goes with Zenzo. Yeah, this is kind of the similar situation here, like basically where you have three people you can split up and go off with two of the main character. Well, what the little girl goes with the main character and goes with one of the other characters. Yeah, it's kind of something happened in Bleach during the Wakamundo arc. The only difference is that Nell is not very implied that she has a thing for the main. Unlike in the case of that, where she basically treats like Ichigo like a big brother, and kind of heavily imply that she might have a thing for him, but it doesn't go very far. This one, they just basically just protect him, and Toshiro does a very good job protecting this little girl from the main villain this arc, who is revealed to be a lower moon demon. He's part of the 12 moons, but he's a lower moon per se. Excuse me, because apparently he had disappointed the main villain in a flashback. He doesn't physically appear, but he does appear in flashback. He had disappointed because apparently he had sort of lost his will to eat human flesh, so he got demoted to a lower demon, to a lower moon demon. So he was lower moon sick, that's basically his code name. And he has these drums out of his body, like one in each shoulder and one in his belly. There was one in his back, but somehow they got removed, and the older brother of the three kids got his hands on it. Yep. And while they're looking around the place, they come across another demon slayer with a boar's head. Yep, a boar's head. Why the heck he wears a boar head? It's never actually explained why, because he's just some wild man that. It's never explained at the end of the arc of why the heck he became a demon slayer. Apparently, some demon slayer just randomly found the mountain. Just randomly stumbled on his mountain, sees how strong he is, hears about the final selection, just participates in it really quickly, becomes demon slayer like probably my. You say, but he was also the Fists of Hyrule, and yeah, it's kind of a. You can kind of say it's a mild retcon, but it's kind of implied that because he was impatient, that's the reason why he's able to basically not be seen by everybody else. It's possible, yes. I can explain why he doesn't have a Demon Slayer uniform, like Toshiro, like Toshiro and Zenzo does. So Toshiro basically has a fight with the guy with the drums. Yep. As in the case of Zenzo, first he comes across a dead body, though he politely has the little kid not look at it, basically just by walking kind of backwards but looking away from it. So he doesn't see it because even he agrees a little kid should not see a dead body like this. They come across a demon, and of course the demon sort of knocks him unconscious. He sort of course falls asleep, and that's when he sort of activates his sort of sleep mode, where when he's asleep, he's basically a freaking badass, summoning a freaking thunder out of his sword, and defeats the demon pretty easily. Now, the three demons actually live in this house, and Toshiro managed to eliminate the guy with the drums and another demon. Yeah. Eventually, the drum demon is eliminated by the third episode of this arc. And you gotta figure out, like, okay, like, they found the older brother. He's got a broken leg. They eliminated all demons. Like, is this arc over yet? Nope, there's actually one more episode left. Yeah, surprisingly there is. And it turns out that there is a reason why the older brother was taken. Because he has this rare blood demons that is their favorite food. And that's the reason why it was taken. Because apparently, eating him is equivalent to eating 50 people. Somehow. Excuse me. I'm doing my best I can for this thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, a lot of times Zenzo basically is holding on to the little boy, hiding behind him because of how much of a coward he is. Yep. He thinks he's the one who saved him, even though he's the one who saved him. Yeah. So eventually they're able to take them all out, and then they get outside, and then they have a fight with the Boar's Head one. Yeah. We can't fight with swords. It's basically taboo. He's like, okay, we'll fight barehanded. Because the thing is, he was beating up Sub-Zero because he basically said there was a demon inside this box. Zenzo already knew. Basically because he has a keen sense of sound. Zenzo is his keen sense of smell. The other guy basically just basically he's an idiot. Somewhat. So Toshiro and the other guy have a fight, and then the fight ends when he gets headbutted by him. Yeah, it's a recurring gag in this series. So if he headbutts somebody, he's got a really thick head. And the little girl basically just feels, hey, your head feels very hard. Yeah. And then his boar's mask falls off, and it's the face of a woman. Yeah, even the manga, this is weird. Like, why would a guy have a face of a woman? I mean, he's not exactly like a feminine guy. At least not described anyways. Apparently, it could be implied he wears more his to hide his hide his face. It's possible, yes. So then the bird shows up and tells him, "Hey, go to his house. Like, come down run away." So and of course the three kids come with him, and of course the bird spits out this special demon repellent. The Western house, or story house, and apparently it's a very good demon repellent. So he gives it to one who has the special blood. His name was Manjo, I think it's how you pronounce it. Look up the bird is there to explain what the heck that is, because it's a very rare blood. And so the three go off basically their own way, and they go to the house where the fella comes from. And they're there, they're offered change of clothes, bedding, a meal. Excuse me. After they did all three of those things, then they're offered a doctor who treats them, and all three of them got broken ribs. Zenzo has broken 2 ribs, Toshiro breaks 3 ribs, and the Boar's Head guy has broken 4 ribs. Pretty much those 4 ribs broken by Toshiro punching him really hard in the gut. And that's when he explains why he became a demon slayer. And then Zenzo basically has asked the unspeakable question like, what demon are you traveling in that box? And the box opens, and of course, it's his sister. And of course, he gets upset by this because, what, you're traveling with a cute girl? And Toshiro tries to explain, not his girlfriend, this is his sister. He's trying to explain to him. And the episode doesn't bother to have a full explanation for it because he ends up beating him up for daring to travel with a cute girl. Yeah, this girl he basically becomes infatuated with, from what I heard. Yeah, he becomes infatuated with Nezuko later. I had to bring that up because, well, that's what happened. I haven't read that far yet in the manga, but yeah, they true. Yep, that's the best I can remember for what happened these 9 episodes. And for these 9 episodes, the first arc was just a pretty quick thing. It's something though that the second arc of the series is just 2 episodes. I think a 4-chapter arc. Yeah, Asakusa is basically 3 episodes adapted from. I think it's like adapted from 6 chapters, chapters 14 to 19, and the arc comes after that, the Drumhouse arc. That's adapted from 8 chapters for 4 episodes, basically chapters 20 27. The next arc, which is basically adapted from 14 chapters, is basically also going to cover my next review, episode 1521. 7 episodes. Yep, 7. Yeah, that was originally going to be episode 4, but it looks like it's going to be episode 3 now. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular video. That's the best I can remember anyways, what happens in these episodes. So it's still a really good series. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And as of right now, I have exactly 12 more episodes left to go for the whole series. And then pretty much after that, I'll just be like anything else reviewing for the series. Like, we're at to finish reviewing the episodes, just reviewing whether I'm trying to do Jedi off of the manga, because I'm resuming reading the manga as soon as I get the series done. And yes, I will review the new movie when it comes out in April. I mean, provided the fact it's actually released in the area. If it's not, well, I'll probably watch online, give or take. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Still got several other views coming today. Basically, reviews, news episodes of My Hero Academia, news chapter manga, Case Closed, and surprisingly also news chapter manga. Fire Force, which will be my next one, basically, at this one. And I think probably 2 movie reviews. Yep. Those will come a little bit later. Okay. But to see you next view. Bye.